Hi everyone, Dr. Tochi here with today's quick lesson. Some of you may not have heard or never have heard of Biddy Mason, okay? Long story short, she was born in 1818, born into slavery, bought and sold, and forced to walk 2,000 miles across the United States to California, where she went to court to gain her freedom and became an entrepreneur, became a millionaire, bought lots of land in what is present day downtown LA. She made it possible for a lot of black folk back in the 1850s and 1860s to have land in current Los Angeles. Okay. She had 3 children, fathers unknown. Suspected that her former slave master might have been one of the fathers of her children. But the real interesting thing for me, remember, we're always looking at the spiritual perspective of these stories. First of all, this woman was a healer. She was a nurse. She was a midwife. Okay. And when she was forced to walk from the eastern part of United States, southeastern part of United States, all the way to California, understand the conditions under which she had to walk. Her slave master with his family, they were riding, they were in what was called a pioneer caravan. So they were going out west to seek their fortune, which was common in the 1800s. Okay. So as a slave, she had to walk behind the caravan. So she didn't get to ride in the caravan. She didn't get to ride the horse. She didn't get to ride the donkey. She didn't get to ride the mule. She had to trek. As the master and his family, they had a caravan, a little thing, wagon situation going on, covered wagon. And she had to babysit, nurse, care for his children as she walked the 2,000 miles. So think about that. She was a slave walking with other slaves, and they were trekking behind this caravan. And they had to cook, clean, wash, babysit, take care of the massa's family and the massa himself, and never got to ride that 2,000 miles. So usually these trips that they made in those days, it wasn't done in a matter of days. Usually it took months, okay, because they would go as far as they could go, camp for the night, get started the next day, and keep on going. And they would have to trace a route that included water, okay? So usually these kind of trips took months to accomplish. But she did this and eventually got to California. And it turned out that the laws of California were in her favor because she could not be a slave in California. So as long as you're a black person, you're enslaved, and you set foot in California, you were entitled to your freedom. There were no black slaves in California or allowed in California at that time. That was the law. And that was how she was able to gain her freedom. Sometimes our calling, the path that our calling is taking us, may not be clear. Okay. This was a young woman who was called to be a healer. And she kept on following that call in her white master's household until he himself unknowingly led her to her freedom. Because if he had known that if she set foot in California, she would be free, he probably would not have taken her along on that trip. He would have probably sold her and taken the money and then headed out west to California. I believe there's a lesson in that for us. Okay. She founded the first free African American Methodist Episcopalian Church in LA, which I believe still stands till today. And she is studied in the history books. She's taught, her stories told to the children in LA, at least, or California, as part of the California curriculum. But if anyone had just said, Biddy, just do you, follow your calling, and you will get your freedom, I wonder what she would have said. Or maybe she knew. Maybe she was already aligned with her spiritual crew and she just knew to be patient. And sometimes you might find yourself in a situation of subservience or servitude. And you're wondering, how long will I be here? What assures your freedom is following your destiny. If you are in servitude, if you are being subservient in a situation that is not aligned with your life destiny, it's going to be very long, baby. You're going to be there a long time. And you will not see the light of your freedom. But if you know that you are following your life destiny and the parts of your life destiny require you to be put in the hands of others, under the powers of others, you have to know that it's just temporary. And that those others that fate has placed you in their hands, even though in their minds they believe they have the upper hand, even though they believe that without them, that's it, you ain't going nowhere. You have to understand that they will be used to lead you to your freedom. As long as you're aligned with your life destiny. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to come here to do. And I'm emphasizing that because I know someone tomorrow will turn around and say, well, Dr. Tochi says that if I'm in servitude one day, the people who put me in servitude or my oppressors are going to lead me to my freedom. That's not what I said. If you need to replay this video so you hear me very well. You have to be in alignment with your life destiny. You have to be doing what you came here to do. And you will find out that no prison will hold you. No physical prison, no mental prison, no emotional prison, no financial prison, no spiritual prison can hold you. They may put you there, but they will take you out. They will take you out of that prison. Okay? And you will do well. And your latter days will be much better than your former or earlier days. So I want you to be encouraged. If you have a call on your life, if you know what your life destiny is, don't slack. Don't be there saying everything has to be perfect before I fulfill my life destiny. That's not always how it works. Certainly not for me. Because I can speak from personal experience, and those of you who've been following me for a while know that I teach from experience. Not just what's in the books, but I teach what I've also experienced. And I found that anytime I'm out there being oppressed and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, the oppression is much harder, it's much more painful. But when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, even the person who feels that they're oppressing me knows that they're losing and it pains them. And they have no option but to set me free and let me be myself. So I hope you learn from this. For more videos on practical spirituality, I encourage you to watch the other videos on this platform where you're seeing this video. Also visit my YouTube. Also go to my website at tochi.us and look into getting yourself some spiritual practice coaching. See if you qualify. Are you a high performer? Do you have other areas of your life in order? Are you organized? Are you disciplined? If so, let's have a chat.